Now we are going to move to something really important where we are going to compare ratios. Now, are you guys aware of these three properties? There are a couple of more. There is invertendo, there is alternando. We'll discuss that, but I thought I'll first explain componendo, dividendo, and the.
No, sir, I don't know.
Okay. Anyone has come across these three?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. No new
Sir,
concept. Yes.
I'm just guessing that componendo means multiplying and dividendo means dividing.
Okay. Priscilla, can you tell me how multiplication and division have come into picture? Where did they originate from? What formed the basis of multiplication and division?
Sir, I think when we make the, like in the previous sum, B was not equal, so we have to make them equivalent. So then we multiplied it. In the same way, if the ratio is not in the least terms, you have to divide it and then make an LCM.
Okay. My question is, forget that we're studying anything, forget we're doing ratio and proportion. Just generally, can you tell me how multiplication and division came into picture? What formed the basis of it? What I'm trying to say is, repeated addition is multiplication and repeated subtraction is division. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Priscilla, do you agree with me? Write down any table today, multiply it. What is 2 into 4, Priscilla?
Sir, 8.
But what is 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2? Isn't that repeated addition?
Sir, like I
Yes,
understood
sir.
the multiplication part, but I didn't understand how repeated subtraction is division.
Division, right. What is 8 by 4? Okay, let's look at a hand. What's 20 by 2?
10.
10.
Alright. So what happened when we split 20 into two parts? We got two tens, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
When I kept on subtracting, so 20 by 2 gave me 10. What is 20 by 1?
20.
What is the difference between 20 and 10?
What, sir?
What is the difference between 20 and 10 then?
10.
And what was the common number that we were subtracting? Division is nothing else but splitting, right?
Yes, sir.
That is why repeated subtraction is division. I wanted to write a table today. I wanted to take any number and divide it after class and see if you get the pattern or you get it.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Sir?
Guys, we have three concepts over here called componendo, dividendo, and the third one is a mixture. The third is derived from the above two, that is component and dividend. Now, for example, let's start with component. Yes, Bhavya?
Sir, I forgot that I have this definition in my textbook. Can I tell that?
No, it's okay. I don't want textbook definition. Let's all of us understand what this is. All right. This is very interesting. Once this is done, proportion is done, then we'll move on to variations. I'm not sure if we have enough time to discuss questions today or do the exercise, but in our next class, in the first 15 to 20 minutes, let's first do the 4 or 5 questions that we have, the really good questions, and then we'll start with our session 2. All right.
We still have 18 minutes. I think we can do it. We still have 18 minutes. We can do it.
But I still have to explain variation also, right? So that's going to take time. Take it.
Okay.
So if I have a ratio, I say A is to B is equal to C is to D. There's nothing else but A is to B is proportional to C is to D. I'm pretty sure all of you are very clear with the concepts and the terminology, so I'll go a little fast. Now, this is nothing else but A by B. This is nothing else but C by D. Guys, if I add 1 on both sides, is there going to be any change?
No, sir.
Both, it's still going to remain the same, correct? Now, what happens if I take the LCM now? Won't I get A by B is equal to C plus D by D? Is this right? I've just taken the LCM. Everyone agree
Yes,
with?
sir.
Right. Now, how can I write this? Can I write this as A plus B is to B is equal to C plus D is to
So
D.
if you don't mind, can you do it with numbers? It's a bit hard to understand it in the alphabetical way.
Yeah, I'll take numbers also. Don't worry. Don't
Sir,
worry. Yes, Priscilla.
if we write like D times A plus B is equal to B times C plus D.
Product of means is equal to product of extremes. It's the same thing. We'll take an example. All these dots will get cleared. I'm using letters right now. I will also take an example for each of them. Component, dividendo, component and dividendo. Alright? Follow what I'm doing. Cool? Component is this. Now what am I telling? Let's look at dividendo. Same logic. Instead of doing plus 1, I'll do minus 1. Because division is repeated subtraction. A by B minus 1, C by D minus 1. It still doesn't change. Both of them are still the same. Same process, LCM. A by B is equal to C minus D by D. Sorry, A minus B by B is equal to C minus D by D. How can I write this? A minus B is to B is equal to C minus D is to D. Same thing. That is just the sign that changed. Now say I call this equation 1 and I call this equation 2. This was componendo. This was dividendo. Now let's look at what componendo and dividendo look like. What am I going to get when I'm going to componendo?
I'm sorry to stop you, but your voice is breaking a lot for me.
Can you guys hear me now? Was it breaking for everyone?
No, sir, it's not breaking.
Maybe some network issues here and there, Bhavya. All right. We have the first equation with respect to componendo. We have the second with respect to dividendo. I am simply going to do 1 divided by 2. What's going to happen over here? What's going to happen if I do 1 by 2? A plus B by B divided by A minus B by B.
I'm not able to understand.
Okay. Let me.
Sir, I'm
I'm
also not getting.
confused.
Okay, 1 second. You guys understood componendo?
Sir, I didn't understand why we should do the addition.
Why am I?
Sir, I didn't.
So like why should we add 1 and why should we subtract 1?
Okay, because componendo, we just discussed that componendo was repeated addition. So these are theorems that we derived. When I take an example on the next slide, all this will be clear. Probably because I'm taking letters, it's a little confusing.
Can't you just multiply?
Pardon?
Sir, I did not understand any of you.
You don't? Okay, don't worry. I'll explain to you. Don't worry. Did you guys follow? Did you guys follow componendo and dividendo separately?
No, sir, I'm confused in those two.
Yes, sir, not able to understand. It's getting confusing.
Okay. Okay. Let
Can
me
you do it with numbers? Maybe it will be helpful.
Okay, I'll do it with numbers.
Thank you, sir.
Let's look at componendo. We derived this. Let's look at an example. For example, I say 21 is to 14 is equal to 15 is to 10. Alright. How can I use componendo in order to prove this? Alright. Let's see how we can apply. You wanted numbers? Let me take numbers. 21 is to 14 is equal to 15 is to 10. How can I prove this? If you do not want to add 1, add 2, add 3. See if you get the same answer. You'll get the same answer, but let me do it with 1 first. 21 is to 14 is 21 by 14 plus 1. 15 by 10 plus 1. Follow. I'm taking numbers for you guys. What do I get? 21 plus 14 by 14 is equal to 15 plus 10 by 10. Is everyone following this at least? 21 plus 14 is 35 35 by 14. What's the right hand side? 15 plus 10 is 25 divided by 10. Yes. What do I now get? 7 2s are 14, 7 5s are 35, 5 5s are 25, 5 2s are 10. I'm going to get it in the simplest of ratios. 5 by 2 is equal to 5 by 2. That is the reason 21 is to 14 is equal to 15 is to 10. Now guys, if you put plus 2 on both sides also, the equations are still balanced, they won't change. You will still end up with the same ratios for both the sides. This is how we prove that 21 is to 14 is equal to 15 is to 10. The property of componendo was a plus b by b equal to c plus d by d. I took letters there. I now took numbers to make it easier for you. Let me also take...
Sir,
Yes, Bhavya?
sir, so after we add 1, how did we get 21 plus 14 by 14 and 15 plus 10 by 10?
The concept of LCM?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what is this? This is 21 by 14 plus 1 by 1. What is the LCM of 14 and 1? 14, right?
Oh, right, sorry, I didn't get it.
Pardon?
I didn't know that you took the LCM.
Do you know the concept of LCM?
Yes, sir, I do.
This is exactly LCM. Now 14 goes in 14 one times. So I do 21 into 1, that is 21. Plus 1 into what is 14? 1 into 14. So I want plus 14.
Yes, sir.
35 by 14. Is it clear now? I assume you
Okay,
guys...
sir. Okay, sir.
Alright,
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Component is clear with an example. Did you guys see how I proved that both of them are equal? Are things now falling into place? Probably letters confused you guys a lot. Let's see if numbers help you out. Alright? Now, let's look at dividend. Let me take the same example. 21 is to 14 is equal to 15 is to 10. 21 by 14 minus 1, 15 by 10 minus 1. After the class, if you guys want to take any other number, because the equations will not change because they're still balanced, your answers will also not change. Same logic. What is the LCM? 21
But
minus...
we have to subtract it now.
Yeah. Dividendo. What is the operation? Dividendo. We did componendo. We're doing dividendo. In the next slide, we'll mix both of them and see what we get. 15 minus 10 by 10. What is 21 minus 14? 7. 7 by 14 is equal to 5 by 10. What is the ratio? 7 ones are 7 twos are, 5 ones are 5 twos are, 1 by 2 equal to 1 by 2. And both the ratios the same using dividendo. Were we able to prove it? Instead of doing all this and arriving at the last step, he came up with this property. Do not memorize the property. It's going to eat up a lot of headspace. Remember how we derived it. Is it clear, guys? Is component and dividend individually clear now? Is the logic and derivation also clear? Unmana, Priscilla, Bhavya, Vatsala, Anna. If you, I suggest.
I have a doubt in componendo, like see, I don't know how did you simplify it. 35 by 14 equals to 25 by 10.
Okay. Anna, Anna joined it.
15
Okay.
plus 10 by 10.
35 by 14. 35 by 40, that's nothing else but I'm getting it into the simplest of fractions, Arna, the simplest of forms. 35 and 14 are common to 7, right? 7 into 2 is 14, 7 into 5 is 35.
Yes.
Yeah, instead of doing it in the division method, I can write 35, 14, 14 twos are 28, etc. Alright, so instead of doing that, I'm directly doing this. I'm going to get the same thing. This is 2.5 or 5 by 2. You agree with me? If I divide 35 by 14, isn't it the same thing? 14 twos are 28. Remainder 7. 14 into 0.5 is going to give me 7. Remainder 0. 2.5 is the same.
Thank you.
Right? Cool. Now,
Yes. Thank you.
let's look at componendo and dividendo together. Let me take two ratios. 2:8, 4:16. Now I'm applying componendo and dividend. How do I do componendo and dividendo? Remember I was saying that let's divide equation 1 by equation 2 and you guys stopped me there. What he did was simply this. 2 plus 8 by 2 minus 8 is equal to 4 plus 16 by 4 minus 16. Now, let me first divide those two so that you get an idea. We did componendo, we did dividendo. Componendo and dividendo dekhte hain. For this, I have to write down letters again. But let me do that once. The property is this that you see on the screen. Let me show how I got that. We got A plus B is to B is proportional to C plus D is to D. This was componendo, guys. What was dividendo? A minus B is to B is proportional to C minus D is to D. This was dividendo. All of you are following? What we ended up with, what we derived in the previous slides. In order to apply componendo and dividendo, say this is 1, this is 2, I do 1 by 2. So what do I get? A plus B by B divided by A minus B by B. Are you following this part? 1 divided by 2. On the right hand side I get C plus D by D by C minus D by D. I am dividing 1 by 2. Clear? Is everyone following? Is everyone clear with this? I am not doing anything.
Yes, sir.
Separately, dividendo separately and I divided. Now what all get cancelled? Common denominators get cancelled. So what am I left with? A plus B by A minus B is equal to C plus D by C minus D. That is exactly what the property has also given us. Are you now clear with the derivation? Are you guys clear with the proof, the logic, how we arrived at this?
Yes.
Everyone, yes or no? Before I solve this problem, you'll get a better idea because I'll use numbers now.
No, sir.
Priscilla, where are you stuck? What didn't you understand? I'm pretty sure you didn't understand a part. Which is that part? Priscilla, wanted to speak?
Like after we write that, when we, I didn't understand why we divided by that.
Why are we dividing? Okay, so the property says A plus B by A minus B equal to, we are dividing because we are mixing componendo and dividendo. We are mixing both the operations. And we have two common terms if you see. B and D are common. A plus B and A minus B are not the same. C plus D and C minus D are not the same. So in order to eliminate the common terms, I have to divide. Because of division, both the B's got cancelled, both the D's got cancelled, the common terms. Would that have been possible if I wouldn't have divided? Priscilla, would that have been possible if I wouldn't have divided?
But I still didn't understand.
We are dividing simply to put in the most simplest form to make our operations lesser, to make our simplification and calculations lesser, as simple as that. If I had additional B's and additional D's, that would have complicated my calculations. Because, yes, because those are common, I can straight away divide them so as to eliminate them.
So are we making them equivalent?
Yeah, they are equal. A plus B is to B is this. And when I divide it by this, I get this. They are proportional. What is proportional? Equal to, right? We are equating two ratios. That is the basic concept of proportionality. That's what we're doing since the past 1 hour.
Yes.
Right. So when I write 4 by 6 equal to 8 by 10, what am I doing? 2 2s are 2 3s are 2 4s are 2 5s are. That's what I just did. We have the equal to sign, right? Are you now clear, Priscilla? Priscilla, are you clear? Can I move ahead? Can I take the example and explain? I don't know where Priscilla is. Alright. So now we have taken the two ratios 2 is to 8 and 4 is to 16. Then I applied componendo and dividendo. What did I get? This is the property that I applied. If you guys cannot get the property right in your head, just derive it in your exam or wherever you want to apply it. Alright. 2 plus 8 by 2 minus 8, that is a plus b by a minus b, and 4 plus 16 by 4 minus 16. So what is 2 plus 8? 10. What is 2 minus 8? Minus 6. What is 4 plus 16? 20. What is 4 minus 16? Minus 12. Everyone's following? How can I simplify it? 2 3s are, 2 5s are, 6 2s are, sorry, 4 3s are, 4 5s are, 5 by minus 3 is equal to 5 by minus 3. Aren't both the same now? Proportion is equating or equality of two ratios. When we did that, aren't we getting the same thing? 5 by minus 3 is equal to 5 by minus 3.
Yes, sir, we are getting.
Is everyone now clear with componendo, and dividendo? Did it become easier when I took examples now? I took letters because I had to derive it for you guys, I had to prove it for you guys. There's no point memorizing the property because you'll probably forget it. You need to understand the logic so as to how you got it. Are we clear, guys?